Hi, I'm Mark, and this is my masterclass. Today, I'd like to talk to you about Sam Larsen. I think we were all shocked at his passing, um, mostly because a lot of us thought I'd be first. And I take no offense, I did too. Sam started off as a poor black child in the hills of West Virginia, grew up, became an FBI agent, and then went to DEA, probably right around 1987, give or take. He first came to the Orange County resident office. So let me take a minute to tell you about the origin story of the OGs in the Orange County resident office. I got there in 1986, and that office had just been open for about 2 years. Um, Everybody that had been moved into that office were old timers and guys that couldn't quit or retire because they were moved. So they weren't doing a whole lot. Within the next 2 years, they all retired and left, and a whole new group moved in. John Manno was first, and then Sam and Ed Harrington. I believe then came Derek Duncan, and finally it was Steve Paris. I think lightning struck, and we managed to put lightning in a bottle. We were very, very lucky. There were a couple things going on at the time. Um, the Colombian cartels were all in Miami, and they were using an air route through the Bahamas to take all their shipments up to southern Florida. Around that time, around the early 80s, the government finally took notice and sent all their resources to Florida. They started a CENTAC team, they started a OCDF, and after a while, they made it uncomfortable for the Colombians to do business there. So everybody moved, all the big drug traffickers, the cartels moved, and decided to do a land route through Mexico into Southern California. And that was the mid 80s, and that was right about the time we all arrived there. So we were in the right place at the right time. And then the second thing that happened was that you couldn't have picked a better group of guys. These five guys were all extremely competent. They were fearless. They were honest. They had integrity and character, and they looked out for each other. And this group got to Orange County, and basically that's where that office began. And probably for the next 10, maybe 15 years, we did more cases and arrested more people than anyone in the division. We carried the entire division with our statistics. We probably beat everybody in the country, to be honest. There were weeks that went by where we were out doing deals every single day. And my record, I think, is I did 3 deals in one day. Like me personally did 3 deals in one day. And nowadays, I think agents are lucky to do 3 deals in a year. It would take you longer than a day to do 3 op plans. So I can't say enough about what a great group we were and what a great time we had doing cases. I get asked a lot by my friends, what was DA really like? Was it like TV? Was it like Narcos, The Last Narc, those shows? Miami Vice? No, it was better. It was crazier than that. And to be honest, if we if we told you the stories of things that we did, people wouldn't believe it. We understand each other, but you can't explain it to your family. You can't explain it to your friends of what we did in those days. But it was crazy. We came to the office and we knew we were standing on the shoulders of giants. The people that came before us, Kiki Camarani, Frank White, these guys were legends, even in our own office, our own locality. Chatty Boy, he was crazy. He was a legend. Louis Diaz in his day. Um, these guys were all something else. Um, uh, Marty Martinez, even Hector Boreas, in his day, he was something else. So we had a lot of big guys that we were following in their footsteps. And you know what? We did. We not only did, I think we took it farther. I think we did things bigger and better. And yeah, we were an amazing group. And Sam was part of that group. Um, I was probably one of the few guys still around that remember Sam's first week on the job. Him and Ed got there together. They were classmates. And I'm not positive. I think it was maybe their first deal. And, excuse me if the facts aren't accurate, but we never let that get in the way of a good story. And we were doing a deal. I was doing a deal at the airport, and we were doing a flash of like $1 million. And so I had this genius idea of to bring it in an airplane and do the flash, and then we'd take delivery at the airport. And so my deals weren't always good, but they were usually fun. And so we had people all over the airport. We had somebody up in the tower calling surveillance. I was down on the uh, taxiway with a leaf blower, and we had guys inside, we had guys outside, we had a rest team in the van, we had people everywhere. And so the crooks came in. Sure enough, we did the flash at the airplane, and it was a bust. And when we gave the arrest signal, the guy took off running. And Sam's coming in hot in his little Camaro, and the guy runs right at him, right up next to him. And right as he comes by, Sam opens his door and slams it into the guy. Well, the guy busts out the window of his car, and Sam jumps out, and the guy busts the window out. He turns around, starts going the other way. Sam jumps out. He manages to grab him, puts him on the ground. Well, in all the excitement, he didn't put his car in park, and so the car starts rolling forward. Well, Ed comes running up behind him, and he pushes the door open and gets in the car and puts it in park. And Sam's looking at the car coming, and the guy's on the ground looking at the car coming, and they all had that look on their face. About this time, I'm walking up going, WTF. Sam puts it in park, or I'm sorry, Ed puts it in park, and he gets out of the car and he's gushing blood because he grabbed that windowsill right as he jumped in, and he sliced his hand open. And so he had to go to the ER. That was our first deal. So after that, more and more people started coming to the office. Some it was a reward, some it was punishment. I would say 90% of the people that came there were great agents. We had the best task force officers in the country, probably. Most departments sent their best guys, not all. And so we became known as the OGs in Santa Ana, actually anywhere. And OG is considered the gang, the group that started the gang, the original gangsters. They're the guys that began the gang. Now it's not politically correct to call us gangsters, so we changed it to gunfighters. So we were the original gunfighters, and that's what we became known as. So the OGs were a really tight group. Daily we were looking out for each other. They'd save my life. Maybe I'd save theirs. We definitely had some high drama moments. Sam and I had a lot of things that even the other G's didn't know about that we did and that we shared, and almost all of them we swore we'd take to our grave. So Sam, at least, true to his word. Regardless, Sam was the founding member, one of the founding members of our entry team. We called it the Heat Team. And, if I do say so myself, we were kind of badass. So it was our version of a SWAT team, high risk entry apprehension team. And we trained with all the local departments. We trained with federal departments. We trained often. And if we weren't training, we were probably out doing. And one moment that I'm particularly, I guess, proud of is Garden Grove had a police officer shot and killed, and the suspect was supposed to meet for a deal, and they said it would look really bad if their SWAT team killed him. And so they called us. No other SWAT teams in the county. They called us and said, hey, we need you to take this guy down for us. Wink, wink. And it's a good thing he didn't show up, because we probably would have killed him. And then it turns out he wasn't the right guy. So regardless, Sam was also a founding member and OG of our hockey team. He was sort of the enforcer, big guy. And I'll tell you one story. I don't want to fill this whole thing up with stories, because everybody's going to have stories. But one story was, there was on it was a recreation league, but there were a lot of kids that played hockey in high school, played hockey in college, and thought they were tough. And one particular kid was chipping on Sam one night, and he thought he was bad, but he was rec hockey bad. He wasn't gunfighter bad. and he smacked Sam's stick, and I do believe he broke it. And Sam, I think, proceeded to comment on this gentleman's sexuality, his ancestral and lineal descendants, his mother, and those comments weren't really taken well, and the guy threw off his gloves, which, as a general rule, means you won't fight. Well, Sam just hit him with a hammer fist on top of the head so hard he dumped him, and I think perhaps turned the lights out for a minute. And the ref, of course, lost his mind and threw Sam out of the game and said he was out for the next game for fighting. Now, the rules are if you throw your gloves out, you get thrown out for fighting. And Sam said, hey, I didn't throw my gloves off. I had my gloves on, and which is true. He broke, well, the ref holds up the guy's helmet and said, look at his helmet. You split it in two. You cracked his helmet. And Sam was like, well, and he appealed it to the hockey place, the hockey league, and they agreed with Sam. They're like, yeah, there's no rule if you hit somebody with the gloves on because it's not supposed to hurt despite breaking his helmet. So anyway, some other things about Sam. Anybody that knows Sam, he could drink more beer than anybody I know. I think I've seen him drink a case of beer and was relatively unscathed. He could not, however, drink hard liquor. And we found that out pretty early on. My wife had a Christmas party on a boat, and we started giving Sam some Jack and Cokes, and pretty early into it, he was done. He was upside down and passed out in one of the bedrooms. And my friend, Scotty, and I, at the end of the night, had to carry him out to the car. And we took him home and put him in his bed. And he had his gun on. And so I took his gun off and I put it up on the shelf in his closet. And the next morning I get a panicked call from Sam. And he's like, Mark, I woke up today and I can't find my gun. I think I left it on the boat. And yeah, no, he didn't. And I waited about 5 minutes because, I wanted him to feel the pain a little. And he did, but I finally told him. Sam was also a founding member of the Santa Ana RO trauma team. And that happened. This is just a weird story, but him and an IRS agent that was assigned to our office went over to the U.S. Attorney's office. And I won't say his name because I'm still pissed at him. And the IRS agent got up and excused himself and went into their storeroom and ate his gun. And Sam, of course, went running in there to see what the gunshot was and found the guy. And so he was understandably upset. And back in those days, we had no such thing as a trauma team. So we just created one on the spot. And we ended up taking Sam to Hooters at 9:30 in the morning because it was the only bar open that we knew of. And we stayed there probably until they closed at 1:32 at night. So yeah, it was just an ugly, ugly mess. However, it was probably the best trauma team experience you could ask for. So we all solved that problem and moved on. Let's see, some of the other things that Sam was famous for. He started the Santa Ana RO's first teen outreach program. Him and John Manna, that was very successful. He was also responsible for the tiny home trend. He started that before it was even famous, before it was even well known. Sam started a tiny home. Let's see. This group of guys, like I said, they were like brothers to me, all of them. If I needed a liver, I'd call one of these guys. I mean, not Derek, his liver shot, but I'd call one of these guys for sure. So, let's just summarize. I'm not going to talk much longer because I know there's probably a lot of people that want to talk. But Sam was a great guy. He was one of the best guys I've ever known. He was funny. He was smart. He was empathetic, and he would probably take your life and not lose a minute of sleep. So he was a guy that you wanted to have as your wingman, and he was good at it. And I do truly miss Sam. And he was, like I said, one of the best guys I've ever known. So I'm just going to finish with this. Anybody that knew Sam back in the day, anybody that's been out drinking with him knows that he was famous for one thing, and that was his Irish goodbye. That was something everybody knew Sam for. And for those that you don't know, Sam would just get up and say, I have to go to the bathroom. And then he'd never come back. He'd say, I got a phone call, I got to take it. And then he'd never come back. So he never liked to say goodbye. He never did. He would just sneak out and leave. And that was the last thing you saw. So, I think it's fitting that if Sam passes away much too early, but at least it was an Irish goodbye that we're all used to. And he did. He just left without saying a word. And, I don't think any of us were that surprised by it, because that's just truly Sam. So I want to give Sam a proper goodbye. And this is his toast, not mine. So I'm going to play this for you. And then there's a slideshow after. Like I said, I don't take credit for this toast. Sam liked this toast. So it's, if there's kids in the room, earmuffs, and that's all I'm going to say. And then, like I said, after that, I'm going to have a little montage of Sam everywhere from his baby picture all the way up to his gunfighting years. Okay? All right. Thank you for your attention.
Here's to you, buddy. Sucking my dick.
Okay, that was wildly inappropriate. I know that, and I apologize, but I think everybody that knew Sam would actually chuckle at that. So let's do an appropriate toast. Everybody grab their glass. Here's to you, Sam. We love you and we miss you.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories, and the memories bring back your. There's a time that I remember when I did not know no pain, when I believed in forever and everything would stay the same. Now my heart feel like December when somebody say your name. Cause I can't reach out to call you, but I know I will one day, yeah.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos of memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.